Hi guys, welcome to Math Today. This is Miss Kleb, and we are going to be working on relating fractions to division. So from your math notebook, go ahead and grab these 2 pages. It should just be your first 2, and we are going to start with those today. So first things first is our table of contents. I have to use my second page, so I will go ahead and turn to that. And I was on page 26. So I will write page 26. And I am going to write relating fractions to division. And I will also be using page 27 today. I'm going to write, it almost looks like a quotation mark, which means ditto or the same thing. If you want to write that twice, you can go ahead and do so. So pause the video now to do that if you would like, or if you need more time to write. But I'm going to go ahead and flip to page 26. So on page 26, go ahead and take this page right here, cut along the entire border, and we're going to paste it in our notebook. So go ahead and do that now. All right, you should have that all glued down now in our math notebook, and let's go ahead and look at this page. So today we are going to be focusing on relating fractions to division, and our learning objective for the day is I can interpret a fraction as division of the number by the numerator. So I can interpret a fraction as division of the numerator by the denominator. So that is our goal for today. And as it says right here, fractions can be interpreted as the division of a numerator by the denominator. So when we look at our fraction, our numerator is going to turn into the dividend, or the number we're dividing into. Our denominator will be our divisor, or the number that we are dividing into, our dividend. So as we can see, our numerator, which is a 5 right here, has become our dividend in our division problem. On the other hand, our denominator, which is a 3, has become the divisor of our division problem. Now, when we go to do this, when we take 3 into 5, how many groups of 3 can I make out of 5? I see that I can make one group of 3. So just as with my normal division, I'll multiply and subtract. 5 minus 3 is 2. And I have 2 left over. So for my answer, I will take my 1 as my whole number. My 2 left over will now become my numerator because fractions are part of a whole. And my denominator stays the 3. Okay? And that's a little confusing. That's okay. We'll go ahead and look at an example and do this together. Okay? So 7/3. A reminder, my numerator becomes the dividend, so I will place my 7 inside the fraction sign, or the division sign, and my 3 becomes my divisor. Now I'll ask myself, how many times does 3 go into 7? How many groups of 3 can I make out of 7? That answer is 2. I can make 2 groups of 3. 2 times 3 is 6, so I'll subtract. 7 minus 6 gives me 1. Now my whole number is a 2. I was able to make 2 whole groups. I had 1 left over, so that becomes my numerator, and my denominator stays the same. I have 1 part out of 3. All right. Now let's turn to the next page. We'll go ahead and label this page 27. And I am now going to take this page right here, which has a bunch of examples on it. We'll cut that out and we'll glue that down. So go ahead and do that now. All right, now that you have that glued down, let's go ahead and look, and we'll work through some of these problems. All right. When I have 6 over 5, 6/5, my numerator goes inside of my division sign. My denominator becomes my divisor. How many times does 5 go into 6? How many groups of 5 can I make out of 6? I can make one group. So now I'll multiply and subtract. I have 1 left over. My whole number goes in the whole number spot, so I have 1. My remainder goes on top of my fraction, and my denominator stays the same. All right, so instead of saying 6/5, I can say 1 1/5. Same exact value, the only difference is how we show it, how we write it. Okay, let's look at 8/3. My numerator goes inside, and my denominator becomes my divisor. How many groups of 3 can I make out of 8? That is 2. 3 times 2 is 6. I'll subtract, and I have 2 left over. Now, as you can see, this is where it would be really good to practice our multiplication facts and to make sure we have those locked in, because it really assists us with fractions and division. All right. I have my whole number on top, so I'll write that in my whole number spot. I have 2 as my remainder. I have 2 left over. That goes on top. And my denominator stays the same. So instead of saying 8/3, I could say 2 2/3. All right. Let's look at 5/2. Go ahead and pause here and work through this on your own, and then we will come back and work through it together. Welcome back. 5/2. Our 5 goes inside. Our 2 becomes the divisor. 2 goes into 5 2 times, and that gives me 4. I'll subtract. 5 minus 4 is 1. My whole number will go in my whole number spot, and I have 1 left over. My denominator stays the same, and I have 2 1/2. Let's look at 7/2. Go ahead and do the same thing. Pause here, solve it on your own, and then come back to check. Welcome back. For 7/2, my 7, my numerator, goes inside. My 2 becomes my divisor. How many times does 2 go into 7? That would be 3 times. 3 times 2 is 6. I'll subtract and get 1 left over. My whole number goes in my whole number spot. I have 1 left over, so that will go on top, and my denominator stays the same. All right, so these were some examples for you. You now have an assignment that will be linked in the filing cabinets doing the exact same thing. All right, let us know if you have any questions, and have a great day.